A teenage boy is fighting for his life after being attacked and robbed in Jamaica, Queens on Wednesday. Police say a group of 13 people surrounded the victim and began arguing with him. That's when they allegedly started kicking and punching the boy before stabbing him with a knife multiple times and taking off with his sneakers valued at about $340. The victim is hospitalized in critical condition. Anyone with information is asked to call Crime Stoppers. New York Attorney General Letitia James lashing out at President Trump after pleading not guilty in a federal mortgage fraud case in Virginia. James was greeted with cheers from supporters as she left the courthouse Friday. She's accused of lying on mortgage papers to get favorable loan terms on a house she bought in Virginia. But James says this case is really about retribution because she successfully brought a civil fraud case against Trump and his company. She is the third Trump adversary to appear before a judge this month on federal charges. Before James's indictment, the president had lobbied for it on social media, saying justice must be served now. Now let's switch gears to the forecast. Definitely grab a coat this morning. It is chilly out there. Later today, sunny and cool, a high of 58 degrees. Tonight we drop to 43 degrees. Tomorrow, lots of sun, but another cool day, a high of 57. Polls shape the storyline every election season, who's surging, who's slipping, and who might surprise on Election Day. But in 2025, with changing technology and shrinking response rates, can we trust what the numbers say? Dan Bowens takes a closer look at how modern polling works.
It's a disaster waiting to happen.
President Donald Trump and New York City Democratic frontrunner Zoran Mamdani don't agree on much politically.
Fighting to make the most expensive city in the United States of America affordable.
But there is one thing they do have in common.
This is a campaign that began at 1% in the polls.
The polls both got their first big high-profile wins very wrong.
This is a fraud on the American public.
They're prime examples of how unpredictable polling has become in modern elections. In 2025, can we actually trust the polls?
You can trust the polls to inform you about the dynamics of the race, but not necessarily the outcome of the election.
Political analyst David Birdsell says the answer is complicated.
And that's trying to figure out who's going to show up and vote. Again, if we dial the clock back 50 years, 40 years, 30 years, that used to be relatively predictable.
With fewer people answering landlines, pollsters have to get creative. Dr. Don Levy from the Siena poll says that means more outreach and more patience.
One of our interviewers will dial the phone as many as 60 times. Of those 60 times, about 15 people will say hello. Of those 15 people that say hello, 1 or 2 will take the survey. We're texting people, we're identifying themselves, we're giving them an opportunity to respond via the web.
He says the real challenge is now blending voting history with who says they'll actually vote now.
Because not only do I have to get the right voters, but I have to compute their likelihood to vote. So it is a daunting task.
Birdsell says big firms are reinventing the process.
Many of the very large pollsters, as a result, are moving to create these vast panels of hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of people.
Those panels help, but often tilt toward people more willing to respond, and that can lean liberal. And even a small margin of error can shift the whole story.
If the error margins had one candidate at 30 and one candidate at 40, and there's a 3% margin, that could be a 27-43 blowout. Or it could be a 33-37 tight race.
Honest polls who transparently go out there and seek to contribute to our democracy by giving voice to the electorate.
So let's finish where we started. Can you trust the polls in 2025?
You can trust the polls to inform you about the dynamics of the race, but not necessarily the outcome of the election on the 4th of November.
Dan Bowens, Fox 5 News.
It's a sign of the holiday.